Alright, gentlemen and maybe one lady, this has been a tumultuous time to try to bring you the Wolverine 1,000 mile boot review year 5. Initially I wanted to wait until like March. That didn't happen, and then stuff just got in the way, and then I thought, why not try to push it a little bit later, because everything was kind of uneventful as far as the boots go. Thinking that maybe as time went on something would happen. So essentially what I'm going to do for the boot reviews, I'm not stopping, but I'm updating the clock here. They're going to start coming in. I'm going to push them all the way through winter and then start them in the spring. So it's going to be looking like around this time, April or May. That way we're getting the full hit of winter in there, the full effect of wearing them. Because a lot of times what was happening is I started wearing them pretty heavily around late August or September, because where I live in the summer it's just too hot to wear them. And then I was filming them in December or January. Well, it wasn't getting that much wear, so I thought, we're resetting the clock, we're going to start from here. So every April to May, that's when these are going to be coming out. Now, as far as the black pair goes, I cannot find the black pair. My wife cleaned the house, and I think she buried them in the shoe closet, which is frustrating. My back is terrible. I can't dig through the coat closet. So I'm sorry to say I don't have the black ones. Believe me when I say that they're fine. They're in good health. They don't look any different from year 4. They are unchanged, and they're unchanging as time goes on. They don't show any patina, they don't show any wear. They get a little bit wrinkled, but that is really it. So if you want to see what the Wolverine boots look like from 4 to 5, just go look at year 4 and they're going to look the same. So some people say, you know, well, which one should I buy, brown or black? It's really a matter of preference of how you want your boots to break in. I really like the beaten, worn up look, so that's why over time I've gravitated more towards the brown. But there's certainly nothing wrong with the black. So it depends on what you wear, it depends on what kind of style that you want, as far as, do I want them to keep them looking clean, or do I like them beat up or scuffed up a little bit? All of that's going to depend on you and what you want. The other questions that I get up front are, what have you done to the soles? Neither of the boots have been resoled. Nothing has ever been professionally done to the soles. I just condition them. What I use to condition the soles is Chamberlain's Leather Milk number 3. It's supposed to be a waterproofer. This will absolutely darken leather, which I've said before, so make sure that if you want the brown pair and you want to keep the brown pair the color that they are, do not put this on the upper, only put this on the bottom of the soles. For the top of the soles, I use Bic 4, which you can buy on Amazon. It's really cheap. I don't have the bottle here, because that's the other thing. I've lost my shoe supply bag. So I finally put everything into one bag. Horsehair brush, conditioners, suede cleaners, brushes, suede brushes, Numbuk blocks, everything into one bag, thinking it's all in one central location. Look at how clean and neat this is. The problem I didn't anticipate, if you lose the bag, you lose everything. So now I've lost the bag. So I'm in search of that. Luckily, the Chamberlain's Leather Milk was still sitting out because I was too lazy to put that back in the bag the last time that I used it. Everything it's in chaos. So, here comes the brown boots. It's the brown. As we can see here, they've got some scuffs, pardon the traffic. They've gotten some scuffs and some wear. This got scuffed up and these got scuffed up along the front. I had a tire that went flat in my car, and I had to change the tire, and it was a concrete parking deck. And so they got scraped up front pretty good because of that, which I'm fine with. There's the back view, and we can see that these are still getting kind of dark. Side view. For anybody interested, there are the tongue. I know some people talk about the tongue, they kind of worry about it. They say, oh, it's getting dark, it's getting whatever. This happened pretty early on, but it has sort of, what do they call that? Terminal velocity, for lack of a better word, where it's not going to get any worse, or shouldn't be getting any worse, after a certain point. It just stains it, it indents it, and then it's going to get about as bad as it gets because you're going to keep wearing them the same way. So they're not going to keep digging in, they're not going to keep scuffing it up. They get to a point where their normal wear pattern sets in, and that's going to be it. And there is the heel. These have not been cleaned or conditioned in quite some time. They are pretty rough in their current state. So that is where we're at on this pair. I think they look great. I think they look beautiful. They are fairly dusty because I try to keep them as organic as I can for these videos so you get an idea of how they wear in, because if you clean them, they look dramatically different. So I don't want you to be under a misperception, you know, but some people like them clean. So some years I'll do them clean, some years I'll do them dirty, other years I'll do both. It all depends. This is the left foot. Look at that. Man, that's pretty. Man, that's pretty. That along the sides. Tongue there, you can get a good look. Other side. Unser Bach! Man, look at that. Would you look at that shot, Johnny? Man. And then there is the sole. South Korea. Right, and there's another viewpoint from the top. So, that is where they're at. That's over a year's worth from the last time, and that is going all the way through winter. Normal conditioning, normal shoe trees in them, using the Chamberlain's leather muck on the bottom, using the Big 4 on the top. Nothing more than that. No servicing from a professional, nothing along those lines. Still haven't replaced the laces from last year, which thank you to everybody who gave me the comments on where I could go buy the laces. Now that I know Wolverine sells them, I probably should have checked that in the first place. But the whole thing to this has always been to try to keep them in the exact condition that I bought them in as long as possible, as long as the parts were serviceable. So I think I will try to keep these laces on here until they actually fail, which I don't know if that's going to happen, but I did take them off for about a week. I had bought a pair of shoelaces out in San Francisco at this little shop, Al's Tailoring, which is a great little place, but they just weren't doing it, man. They weren't like the original, so I had to take them off, and I've got those laces. I'll dedicate those somewhere else because they're great shoelaces. But that is about the condition of them. The other question that I get is, well, you probably aren't wearing these in the snow, man. I'm wearing these in the snow, live in the snow belt in Northeast Ohio, work in downtown Cleveland, and have about a 10 to 15 minute walk outdoors every day, and wear these to the office. So I don't have any issues walking in them, getting snow in them, walking through water, doing all that stuff. A lot of the reason for that is keeping those soles conditioned. The other reason is once you're done with them, you know, if I bring them home and it's been a long day and they've gotten wet, is I will pat them dry with a towel. I'll pat them dry underneath and make sure that I don't, you know, put a hair dryer to them. Don't do anything like that. Just let them air dry naturally, and then make sure that you're keeping up with the conditioning so that they're staying clean and they're staying hydrated and conditioned. A lot of the reason that leather tends to give out is because it becomes brittle or dried, or that leather is lacking in the nourishment that it needs to do what it does. You see cows out in the wilderness all the time and they're not falling apart. So I know that's a terrible example, but it's just, it can hold up if you do your part to take care of it. I think I also mentioned too in the year 4 that I had on this one, now as I'm putting my hand in there and you can't really see it, but on this one I had a little part of the heel cup came loose and it did fall out. I used some super glue, stuck it back in there, gagged myself to death, but it worked. and it's back in and it's fine and it hasn't come loose since. So that's really the only like malfunction that's happened. And one of the things you can see, which is kind of interesting too, is the wear pattern that's happened on the back of those heels. The other thing is, you know, people talk about Red Wing and have you tried Red Wing and have you bought in Red Wing? I have not bought in a Red Wing boot. I've really thought about it, and actually this year was the closest I ever came. When I went out to California, I actually visited a friend out there, and he has Red Wings that he's had for a few years, 4 years I think, and he loves them. They look incredible, but the problem is they have that big rubber white sole. I think they're help me out there, like the 1970 or something like that. But he's had to have them resoled twice because they just wear out very, very quickly. And if you read the reviews and you look at the reviews from people, that's sort of a common thing, is that they wear out pretty quickly. Now, the great thing about Red Wing that is a knock to Wolverine is that Red Wing will fix those soles for you. So for $100, he sent them back in. They sent them back to him looking brand new soles, brand new laces, everything polished, clean, and good to go. So that is pretty great. But $100 every 2 years, that's a pretty big investment. So with these boots, and I think they cost around $270 something. Well, with these, I bought them 3 or some years ago, and, or no, I'm sorry, we're going to talk about 5 years ago, and haven't done anything to them since other than conditioning or whatever. So I feel like I'm getting a better mileage out of them for the money. So that's it. That's the video. Year 5. Comments down below. Subscribe for year 6 and more videos. Thank you for everybody being patient. I love you guys. And let me know if you have any questions. I'll be happy to answer them. Let me know what kind of boots you have or if you bought these. See you in year 6.